write a poem with me. So today's poem is going to be a little different. And I mean little because remember last year, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, when it was kind of a trend to make a slideshow out of the notes in your notes app? Well, I did that. I have a playlist you can check out. I compiled all of these random unfinished poems or phrases that I would basically just write when I had an idea to maybe save for later to make into a bigger poem. And for me, there are some times where I have ideas and I will write them down that are not really poetic, but sometimes I would look at it and be like, you know what? It's kind of good as is. And then I kind of have this conflict with myself on whether or not I should turn it into a full-blown poem or leave it as is. And I kind of had the same thing with this idea. It's kind of fun to share this side with you guys, the part before it becomes a poem. So I was scrolling through TikTok and I came across one of these slideshows and the music was making me sad and the quotes were making me cry. And then I got an idea and I wrote it down. So this is what I wrote down. I think the beauty of mourning is the tears that fall over graves, watering the grass overhead. It's almost as if, when there is death, our bodies have a natural way of giving back life. And I read that and I was like, that sounds really good. And you know the saying, sometimes less is more. Sometimes when you talk and talk and talk like I'm doing now, it becomes less impactful. When something is really heartfelt, most of the time you don't even need that many words. So for something that has the theme of mourning and death and grief, sometimes the strength, the power, the heart lies in the things that we don't say. So now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense not to make this a long poem. The short length tells a story in and of itself. It's very quiet, minimal talking, just like how we are when we mourn. So I think that concept is beautiful. All we have to do is write 3 lines. So I really like what I said about crying over the graves because it's already establishing the mourning, the loss of life, and the grief that comes with it. But I want this not just to be sad. So how are we going to shift the tone of this poem in just 3 lines? Well, let's try. Let's see what we can do about that. I still want to keep the lines short. I'm not going to say 3 lines and then make the line like a run-on sentence. No. First line is cry over the graves. And then about the dead grass overhead, that is analogous to the death, the loss of life, but we want to bring life back to what was lost. So our tears, basically something that came from sadness, will be the one to give life. I'm gonna say, let your tears water the dead grass overhead. We already have our first 2 lines, and then to seal it all up with the 3rd line, it's gonna be purely positive, purely joyful, more hopeful. So for this last line, I want to directly address the mourners. I want to just let them know, because mourners can kind of get in that headspace where they feel like they